welcome to Layback with Betfair. Joined by the A-team, we're back.
Hello and welcome to another big edition of Layback with Betfair. We're going to take a big in-depth look at Doomben this weekend, headlined of course by the Group 1 Doomben Cup. The A-team's back together. My name's Nick Foote. The boys that are going to help me do that is obviously here Tom Haylock, the Baron of Betfair, and the Prince of Pakenham Tynong as well, Reece Goodwin. Tommy, g'day to you, mate.
Hello. G'day, mates. How are we? You well?
Going well. Not so much of a great week last week for me personally. I'm not sure how you went on the.
Yeah, I was going to say, speak for yourself.
Yeah,
I think Reece landed a couple of big winners, perhaps.
Oh,
but
hamburger.
They
call him now. You got the hamburger.
The old hamburger with a lot.
Lay lost and your tip in the race won, so well done.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it wasn't a bad week for me. I think I found something. It's 7 days ago, well, not even 7 days ago, and I've already forgot what I had my money on the weekend. But I think I had a profitable day, which was probably my first one all season.
I think we did all right with our lays, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We all continue in the lay streak, which is nice.
2-year-old. I've forgotten its name now. What was the 2-year-old that McDonald's says the best horse ever had?
Oh, Angel Capital.
Yeah.
They paid you to say that.
I know, it was a Colt, so.
I still think we can maybe forgive Angel Capital a few things.
Oh, 100%.
It's a lot to ask of a 2-year-old, a lot of
but the market came
heavy track the other way going. Reece mentioned, go the other way, going 2-year-old heading north.
Me, yeah. It was 1,000 up to 1,200 back.
I was
wide
with him,
barrier.
so.
Did it? I must admit, I didn't watch the race. Did it find the line at all?
Yeah, around home at Cove.
Okay,
It was never,
cool. I'm
never
just
new.
from trainer's perspective.
Yeah.
Clinton did say this isn't its grand
It's gonna be
final,
huge
and they're
ask.
going to go back from the barrier. So the horse might still be going okay.
Still said it's the best horse he's ever had.
Did he say could be?
Weekend Hustler.
He
Could
said it's
be.
got the potential to be.
Yeah,
I think was the
I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, well.
Hey, if it's any consolation for both of you guys this week, it's a very hard card at Doomben. So you only got to find one or two, and we're going to preview that card basically in full this week. We're not even going to go around the grounds. That's how much we're going to hone in and focus on this, because there is some cash to be made for our listeners. But before we get into any of that, let's head to the lay-in, boys. And there was some pretty hefty discussion sort of in the meeting prior to the show that this could be a stacked edition of the lay-in. Tommy, you usually kick things off, so you can have the new ball.
pretty light on this week, to be fair.
You're a happy man for once.
Yeah, I shouldn't be after yesterday on the punt. But, obviously our producer Harry and his legs and his shorts is about 4 degrees outside. And Harry's got the shortest shorts you've ever seen. So I think he picked him up at the kids section of Kmart and he was rolled up. And
I walked in with a big jacket on, and I sat down and he goes, gee, it's hot in here. And he had a pair of shorts on.
What makes the short shorts even worse is he doesn't have the legs to fill the shorts
Correct.
out. So I think it's the double.
And they're like a tracksuit material. Tracksuit pant kind of shorts.
They're close to
anyway.
skins too.
Like your pants.
Yeah, they're the old pointers.
Yeah. Anyway, no one can see him, so it's just an in-joke.
Yeah,
so
we'll
it's probably garbage.
we'll get
We'll get a photo on the
We'll get
socials.
Harry to put a photo
We're
of
going to
himself
vote.
up.
We're going to vote backing or laying on the Betfair social. Harry Shorts. Yeah.
I've got a couple lay-ins this week. First one is laptops on knees in the show. So I've had a lot of feedback around this layback show. People go, what are you doing? What are you doing this week? I'm like, I'm on the layback with Betfair, great show. You should tune in. It's like, is that the one with the guy with his laptop on his knees?
Oh.
Well,
that's
to those
and his iPhone in his hand.
Yeah.
to those people out there, if they stop putting taxes up, we'd be able to afford another table. So
he's blamed the laptop on knees on POC tax.
Things are a bit tight at the moment.
Yeah.
I just want to know where Carl's couch is.
Yes. And
I want to know where Carl is.
This actually has to be mentioned. Part of this set, our former producer, head of digital at Betfair, Carl, put together this set.
Yeah.
And he purchased a couch online. Let's just call it some form of social media marketplace where the purchase came from.
It's a very Carl thing to do.
It's a very Carl thing to do. Anyway, after sending, because as you do on these types of marketplaces, you give the cash first.
Yeah.
And when push come to shove and he's gone to pick up said couch, may have been given a fake address or an address that didn't exist. Therefore, the couch did not exist also. So, Carl, you have been hook, lined and stinkered, my friend. That is a shocker. Casting couch, Carl Kadawi. That's not my second lay-in either. Let's go all day. Keep it rolling.
What else you got?
I've got unnecessary bicycle bells. So when you're out going for a walk
Attitude
or
to
a
it.
run and you're sticking hard on your left lane and someone feels the need when they're within sort of 5 to 10 meters behind you on a bike to ding their bell when you're not veering off your path, you're running in a straight line and you're on the left side, and then it might give you a little scare or a little fright. There's no need. There's no need to ding your bell. I'm going in a straight line. I'm on my side of the road. You can pass me safely. All right.
Is that where you want to sort of throw your arm out?
We're not in Amsterdam. We're not in Amsterdam. It's Melbourne. It is unnecessary bicycle bells. You can see that I'm not veering off my line. I think they need a bell license if they want to use them unnecessarily. Just get
right on the road.
Get in the bin.
Do you walk or run with headphones and you don't hear it anyway, or?
I run with headphones, but I'm not full.
Okay.
I want to have some sort of sense.
And so you can hear the bells
about me. Yeah, clearly, because I'm jumping off the path. Reece, you got anything except for just laughing at our lay-bins today?
No, I enjoy it actually. I don't have anything for the lay-bin, but I do enjoy having a laugh and adding my 2 bob worth.
Yep.
Come up with something, please.
One day.
Yeah, we'll call it 1 bobs. Well, let's get into the main part of the show, which is obviously assessing Doomben this week. We're going to hone in on the one meeting, headline, of course, by the Group 1 Doomben Cup. And the weather wasn't great last week, but it looks like we've had good drying weather throughout. They back up again on Doomben. I think the track's currently rated a soft 6. How do we expect it? And what's the forecast looking like for Saturday, Tommy?
Perfect weather forecast leading into Saturday, then 0 to 4 mils on Saturday. So speaking to a few people up there, that when they have had 0 to 4 mils forecast over the last few weeks, it's often had more than that. So a little bit cautious heading into Saturday. If you do get 4 mils, you might be downgraded. So I've done the form on a 5. I think we'll get to a 5, and hopefully the rain stays away on the day.
I love Tommy's track spies. Whatever track we race on, Tommy goes, well, just speaking to a few people there, if we previewed 10 at Darwin or 6 at Darwin, Tommy would go, well, speaking to the people at Darwin.
You have to do your research.
Yeah, I love it. No,
he used to name drop a bit. He's pulled up on that, which is good.
Yeah. I question the integrity of if these people exist. Or if Tommy's just
we don't know any different though. Like,
Tommy's just looking at the bomb site. Anyway,
I don't have any friends.
Hey, let's get stuck into the card. Race 3. It's the Dary McCarthy. It's for the 3-year-olds over 1,100 metres, and it's a stack of speed in this race. Tommy, how are you assessing, mate?
So 16 horse fields on average throughout the day at Doomben, and some of the races have so much speed in them. It's not. I've never seen a card stacked with more speed and pressure than this Doomben card, and race 3 is one of those. So I think Power Ballad might be the quickest here. Roll forward for the Waterhouse Botyard, which they tend to do. Incredibly tough race. I'm leaning to the 2 horses. Obviously, Louis had a run up here, but Waterhouse Bot. I like Power Ballad as a horse. Brings that win over Steffi Magnetica, a horse that, I have an opinion of. That horse went on to run second in the Group 1 Surround and 5th in the German 10,000. Steffi Magnetica was pretty good last week. Like the trial, major player, Power Ballad. The other one is Sir Louis. Not disgraced last start at Sunshine Coast Guineas. Back to 1,100 metres, good barrier. I think he's a nice horse. So I lean to 8 and 1, but I think the market's pretty right.
So you're leaning to Power Ballad. You're leaning to Sir Louis with the run under the belt up north. The Power Ballad form's good. Steffi Magnetica beat home Osmar as well at Flemington, who's just gone on to do good things. Reece, Skirt the Law, interesting runner here. Lame first up.
Yeah, she is the intriguing runner of the field. I think, looking at the field, she's the one that catches your eye that, at her best, she's more than capable of putting away a field like this. She's got some great four lines previously. She was disappointing first up, and you filled me in footy. She pulled up lame, and even when you watch her late, she's taking in some pretty short strides. So I think that was pretty obvious. She's been back to the trials, trialled well. You get D-lane services. There should be good speed here. Look, I'm not super confident, but I'm happy to back in the camp and the filly that at her best, she can certainly be right in the finish. And I'm actually quite against Sir Louis. I think he's going to cop a lot of pressure here. He's a horse that previously hasn't settled well unless he leads. So I'm pretty strongly against him. I don't like him at that price. I thought He was closer to nearly a $10 pop. So I'm keen to lay him, and I'm backing in Skirt the Law to bring back her best form.
Yeah, I'm with you on Skirt the Law. She's got spring form on the heels of Stretton Angel and a Captain Teebs beating home the likes of Solitaire and Estriella. Like, what price would they be here? So
right.
I'm with you, Skirt the Law. I think she's come up a pretty good price at around $6.50 as well.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about her, to be honest. She hasn't won since she won 3 in a row. She hasn't won for over a year and a half almost.
She won a trial.
Yeah, she won a trial. That
she doesn't know any different.
That brings a bit of confidence potentially. But yeah, I
like
just almost want to see her do it at taking $6.50.
If you take out her first up run, do you think she would be shorter in the market? Is she that price because she was disappointing first up? Like if you tie in her best form lines from last prep.
Maybe she obviously started favourite there, but she did drift. She was 260 out of 360 first up, and then obviously had issues. But her last run in the Champagne, she was beaten 5.5, 2. So there's a couple of bad runs there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the market is gravitating heavily towards the now favourite in Fortuneer as well, who we haven't really mentioned, and that's the O'Day Hoisted runner. Looks a progressive filly, Tommy. But
beware the undefeated horse.
Yeah.
I'm more against Fortuneer. Just like that Bringer's Reward, they put huge margins on the rest of the field, that first and second. But Bringer's Reward, so I think it's had 4 starts since and done nothing. Hasn't even looked like winning. So the jury's out in that form, but you have to be wary of an undefeated horse.
And the stable at this time of year as well.
And those colours too.
Yeah.
They just bob up this time of year.
Thoroughbreds, O'Day Hoisted.
They know what they're doing.
It's a Scolopini type combination, that. Let's head to race 4 now, boys. It's the listed Bill Carter Stakes for the 2-year-old fillies over 1,200 metres. Zaya won this race last year, Stroll in 2022, and Rhapsody Rose in 2021. Tommy, you and I are siding with what looks like a pretty straight bat type of bet here.
Yeah, pretty easy to like. Clean Energy, number 4 here. Enormous win on that. That was exceptional. Very hard to do what she did. I always give horses credit or more gravitas or more pull when they settle outside a lead on debut or first up, and this horse did that. Exceptional fast tempo, and she just kept going. So she was 3 lengths faster than class average to the 800. So the first 100 metres of the race, she went 3 lengths faster than class average. Then between the 8 and the 4, she went 1.1 lengths faster than average. And the final 400 metres, so 0.6 lengths faster in the middle stage, and then 1.1 length faster home. So it was incredible run. The time was sensational, rated right through the roof. She kicked away, absorbed pressure. She's just bomb-proof. I think 1,200 metres, no issue. I think she's clearly the horse to beat. You can tie in Lady Shenandoah, who had J-Mac on probably wrong part of the track and might be a bit of value if you wanted to save. But Lady Shenandoah's by Sitzel might be better on the wet ground that she faced on debut as well. So there's a little knock. But Clean Energy just ticks so many boxes.
It's my favourite type of 2-year-old. We saw it Stormboy early in his career. We've seen Lady Camelot do it. Their ability to burn the candle at both ends. And for Clean Energy to get home in one of the day's fastest last 200 metres after sustaining a pretty strong tempo early in the race is big tick. And you've got to love the Waterhouse Bot and Hieronymus combination as well, Tommy, who are striking at 23% for their last 100 runners together. So I'm with you, Clean Energy. Reece, you're going to shop a little bit out wide as you tend to do.
Yeah, that's right. Zatanna, I think that was the way you could pronounce it. Look, she only won at Ipswich over 800 on debut, but I remember sitting on the couch watching this race, and boy, she was fast and just quickened off that to go with it. Like Ipswich is a track where leaders are generally favoured to get the right run, but as soon as she straightened up and she just lengthened again. So I like what I saw, and don't get me wrong, I think Clean Energy could be the better horse here, but I think it's one of those 2-year-old races that, there's a bit of pressure. It'd be interesting to see if a few bring each other undone here. I'm not sure how they're going to ride Zatanna, but you get B-Shin on board, so he's going to make the right
lead. If you're leading over 800 and winning by 7, she's got to be right up there.
I'd say Clean Energy would have led that race too, though.
Yeah.
So it's hard to marry up. These are obviously better quality 2-year-olds. So look, I hope they probably do. That's probably her best chance of beating Clean Energy if she's able to hold the fence and lead from 1. But B-Shin's not going to press, the filly way out of her comfort zone. But Yeah, I just went looking for a bit of value. These 2-year-old races I find a little bit hard to gauge. You know, you can, as I've said as a trainer, you can have a 2-year-old one day and not have them the next day. One of these has had to travel from New South Wales to Queensland, and you're taking 2.10. The other one's still in a backyard, and you're getting $7.50 with B shin on. So we just spoke about those colours, proven thoroughbreds. O'Day, Hoysted, they know what they're doing. They can find a good one. So I was happy to be there each way.
Just on her, it's an incredibly tough ask. We saw it with Angel Capital, 1,000 up to 1,200. This is also 800 up to 1,200 for
a horse called Jungle Cat.
filly. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, there you go.
To go along with that.
Jungle Cat.
What's he?
Godolphin runner, wasn't it?
Right, could have been.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it's incredibly tough ask.
It is.
And Barry won. The fence was off last Saturday, so you have some idea.
Yep.
Her best chance is if the fence is okay with the rail out too.
Let's move along now to race 5, which is the Magic Millions 2-year-old classic, set weights 1,050 metres. And Tommy, this looks a real race in 2, this one, doesn't it? We got Spywire at the second line of betting and Anisa at the top of the market off a really nice win in the Percy Sykes.
I haven't seen a race with this much pressure in a long time.
Yeah,
This is
crazy. It's more speed than Burning Man.
Silver and Suave 14. Fields Amore 10, Arabian Summit Barry 9, Ballastier 8, Smashing Rosie 7, Spywire 3, and Gin and Tonic
Embassy
2.
went forward last time.
Embassy went forward. I don't think they can.
They can,
there.
yeah.
Like there is that much speed. Yeah, you make a good point regarding a race in 2. I'm risking. So there's 2 Queensland lead ups. The Embassy race where beat 3 rivals on May 4. That was over 1,000 metres. Then you got the Ken Russell over 1,200 on May 11. I'm risking those 2 and laying Embassy here. I just don't think that's the right lead up. 11, here. And then 1,200 back to 1050 is interesting as well for me for the Ken Russell form. I think, as you said, I think the best 2 horses are Anisa and probably Spywire. Anisa's very easy to like. I've got Anisa very much on top. Looks the obvious pick. Camps off the speed. Perfect barrier. She's beaten Spywire and a Blue Diamond. Brings top 2-year-old form into this. I like the trial of Spywire, but Anisa comes with a Percy Sykes 1,200 metre win. Boasts a string of ratings that are anything better than the rest of the field. And I have a slight concern over the stable early campaign or for freshen up. This is $1 million race, so that's put that to bed in my opinion. So she is very hard to beat.
When you're assessing the form, Tommy, when would you consider it to be A+? And Reece, as well, this is for you, when horses do drop from 1,200 back to a distance like 1,050?
I love horses back in distance with blinkers on, but also testing tracks or if they can roll forward and get an easy lead back in trip. I love Waterhouse back in trip and not Waterhouse. I love Waterhouse up in trip, back in trip. But yeah, it's case by case and horse by horse. But
time between runs is a key for mine too. A horse back in trip 1,200 to 1,000 within 7 days, I would be a little bit sceptical of on how much freshness there could be in the legs, unless there are some blinkers applied. And then you've also got to factor in if it is testing ground, you would then also want something that's a bit fitter. But, you know, a horse that would be 3 or 4 weeks between runs, 1,200 back to 1,000 is probably a bit more of a positive sign. You know, the horse is, you know, a bit fresher.
There are some trainers that are lighter on horses as well that benefit from the extra fitness coming back in trip. And David
it's almost
Payne,
used as a trial.
David Payne's back in trip I look for as well. I think that's positive. So there's a couple of trainers that, probably don't pour as much work as a Waterhouse runner back in trip. It's probably a bit more alarming.
It's a nice segue into Spywire, who I'm actually backing in this race because he's a good colt. And we saw he hasn't been sighted since that St Albans Stakes at the Valley, and he did look a good thing licked. And the winner of the race was Growing Empire. And we know the form around Growing Empire has been stacking up everywhere. Went was dominant at Morphettville. I think Flyer since won a Group 3 who was in behind. We know Bitter Creek from that St Albans Stakes has since been a winner. So that form's stacking up everywhere at the moment. A nice trial up there. I think there's just a little bit too much of a discrepancy in the price over this distance between Spywire and Anisa. So I'm going to have Spywire on top in race 5, boys.
Do they lead? Or just take a sit on him?
Well,
I think they take a sit, don't they?
Yeah.
Considering they took a sit at Moonee Valley when they probably shouldn't have. And there's a lot of speed involved here. I didn't see the trial. Did he lead the trial?
He showed enough speed. I think. Yeah, it was 730 metre trial or something.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a plan A and obviously a plan B. J-Mac in the saddle with
It's
lots of
interesting
speed.
It's interesting that they're drawn right beside each other too.
Yeah.
Who's going to be tracking
like
who
that.
type of thing.
It'll probably end up a boat race now, Tom. We've spoken about the speed, and it can sometimes everyone
Exactly.
sort
If
of gets
this
the old
race-
Spider-Man gif out where everyone's pointing at everyone. So
If this race was it is $1 million race, so they should have done all the maps and all the jockeys will be
Yeah.
aware that there's probably a lot of pressure. You're right.
let's take a look at race 6 now, boys. It is the listed Chief De Beers over 11:10 as well. And Mashani Sniper won the race last year, Simply Fly in 2022 and Vada in 2021. And geez, there's a stack of runners first up in this. There's another race that's got a lot of speed. It's hard to get near this one, Tom.
Far out. $7 a field.
Mm.
Incredible. Basically a Betfair. I think Golden Boom goes forward from the outside barrier. Duel from 9 with Shin on up there. Penthouse, I don't know if it's running here or not. Genuine Tempo. I'm kind of more inclined to risk Spacewalk at the price. J-Mac, John Barry, 18. He'll probably somehow get let into the 1-1. Who knows? Does look a pretty poor map with big weight. So a little concern for me with Spacewalk. A few box tickers here. Shooting for gold, probably the biggest one. Up in class a little potentially, but 3 times winner at 1,100 metres. I love winners over 1,100 metres in 1,100 metre races. Twice winner of this track and trip. Yet to miss a place first up. Drawn to get every possible each way play. If you're keen to bet race 6 number 4 shooting a gold, I can make a case for King Kappa with Lane on from Barry 4 as well. And Go Wanji's a big price. Can be charging late, has that turn of foot to give this race a shake if things pan out. So ran the second fastest final 600 metres a day, last start off a slow tempo, up to 1,100 metres probably suits, massive price. So I hope I've given someone a steer into a couple there.
Yeah, well, I'm struggling with shooting for gold on each way basis. He's a bomb fresh. He's won twice, 5 placings from 7. He's 2 from 2 track and trip. This team would have him.
Parrot, just repeating me.
Well, you say such smart things, Tom, so it's hard not to.
Thank you.
But yeah, he went up closer to 16, 17 to 1. There's already been a bit of support. He's drawn well. He should get a good run behind the speed. Huxtable's ridden him plenty of times, so know him well. I think he's been missed in the market, and I'll be keen to have sort of a 1x3 play on him. I think he's a great each way play.
Yeah, my on topper in this race, I don't think I'm keen to bet, but is Hell of a Barty, who presents first up at around $9. Huge peak figure in his last run. That was in $1 million race on the Gold Coast behind Derry Grove. And look, still got to get into it just gets into the field now with scratching. So very, very difficult race to assess. But yeah, I've got Hell of a Barty on top, and I'm shouldering arms like Stephen Smith for that one. Before we get into the quaddy legs of this Doomben program, let's just have a little bit of chat about some markets that Betfair are offering at the moment, Tommy.
Yeah, cashback second market online at Betfair for all races, the entire Doomben cards. So head over to Betfair. There's some information on the hub as well. The Betfair app, but cashback second market's a new market for Betfair, so maybe we'll find a couple of bets for the cashback second markets, which is interesting.
If you're one of those punters, and I feel like everyone's a bit like that, aren't they, that sit on the couch, geez, I've had a lot of seconds today, dirty day, a lot of seconds, what could have been? That could be your market.
Yellow Brick's one of those. Around second, I think 5 out of his last 6 starts or
exactly.
something, you wouldn't have lost.
We might get to Yellow Brick a little bit later in the program,
okay.
Tommy. There might be some suckers for punishment here on the layback panel. Who knows? Let's hook into race 7 now. It's the Group 3, the Drinkwise Mile. I think this is formerly the Pam O'Neill. It's for the fillies and mares over 1,600 metres. Chris Waller, stranglehold on this race, has won 3 of the past 4 of this with Frumos, Nudge and Shaw Knee. How are you assessing this one, Tommy? Is it a race that you're keen to get involved in?
Not really. No, a very tricky race. A very, very hard race, which is the nature of the day. I'm more against Thalassophile at the price than with Thalassophile. On a firmer track today, good fresh, but gets to Doomben first time, very different track to Sunshine Coast, especially on the heavy. I think she's short enough. Last time she met Osmos started half the price and beat Thalassophile home. Now Osmos, yes, 2 kilos worse the weights from that, but twice the price from a better barrier. So I just think those two have to be closer in betting. And I think Telesophile's too short. Maybe the JMAC factor off a win pretty obvious. So the market's probably honed in on Telesophile a bit too much, in my opinion. But you're with Telesophile, mate.
No, I'm not.
I am.
Oh, you are.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm
Same, similar colours.
I'm with her
Oh,
based
just-
off her first up run, and respect your view around previously with going up against the likes of Osmos. But that win at listed level last start at the Sunny Coast was a corker. That was 1,400 metres. She looks awfully well placed to take the step to 1,600 now. She ran the fastest last 200 metres of the entire day, which says yes, please, to the mile. I think that step up in distance at this point in her prep is absolutely ideal. So I'll be investing in Thalassophile on Saturday.
So I'm searching for value as I do. I'm right down the bottom. Chicken Mojito, Chris Waller as well. Zach Lloyd, 53.5. This is her first prep in Australia. She was great in the Conasana race on the heavy track where you, of course, tipped her at, what was it, 26 to 1?
Yeah, did I?
Yeah, I think,
Got
yeah.
that, yeah.
I don't think we've spoke about it since.
No, thanks. I'll pay you back.
But she was...
every show. Just
Well, just as long as I keep seeing it in the form, we're going to keep
were
mentioning.
you sitting on the couch for that one too? I'm convinced that's I'm convinced that's Carl's couch you've got at home, by the way, as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I got him. Don't tell him, eh? Anyway, she was great first up there. She was, again, really good. Second up at Eagle Farm behind Kintyre. She gets to a mile. She sticks to a mile. Third up, I think she's peak fitness. She's drawn outside of centre of the line. I'm hoping this time of the day at Doomben, they might be back and swooping. I just thought she was a good each way price for a filly that's obviously still on the improvement. First time in Australia. Third up, no weight on her back, and I quite like her at an each way price. I didn't think it was a really deep race. I think some of these mares. Some of them, like Foxy Frida, you would question if she's going at her best. I think if she was going at her best, I could see why she's $5. I'm not convinced she should be the way she's been going. I know she comes out of stronger races.
She's another one of these mares that we're seeing don new colours as well.
Correct,
Foxy
yeah.
Frida. So
Yeah.
they're sort of heading up there and
Changing ownership might be the luck she needs.
yeah, Bangalore stud.
There we go.
I agree with you. I think the three I saw with Steffi Magnetica, I think they're competitive.
Yep. Yep.
So I don't mind. There's not many in form
The-
here,
the-
and I can see why you.
A mare like I'm seeing a mare like Princess Rani's who was down here winning I think she won a 70. She's gone up to Queensland. Don't get me wrong, she was being great. I think she won a Class 3 last prep. She's probably better over further, but she was great first up in a listed race behind Thalassophile. And I'm just picturing this mare when she was in Melbourne and now seeing Chicken Mojito at a longer price with no weight on her back. So that's why I was keen on her.
Yeah, some $17 at the moment on corporates. You get better on Betfair, no doubt, on the day. Good angles there, boys, in the Group 3 Drinkwise. Let's take a look now at race 8, which is the Roses. It's a Group 2 for the 3-year-old fillies, 2,000 metres. Fireburn won this race in 2023, Barb Raider in 22, and Only Words in 2021. Lots of different angles you can take in this particular race. A couple of boom horses as well, if you like, Tommy.
Good race, really good race. 2,000 metre 3-year-old race is not usually my go, but I'm with Scarlet IQ. I think she's a special horse. McDonald jumps on, tick. Perfect barrier, tick. Dominant win last start at the mile, tick. She ran the fourth fastest final 200 metres of the day there over a mile. It was a slow tempo, so she's obviously going to run home well, but it just shows her ability and says to me that 2,000 shouldn't be an issue off the back of that. So off a dominant win, I think she can run well. The dangers, Toodle Vita scares me. Second orchestral Diviner is stud over this trip, and Molly Bloom was probably the pick from that lead up. There was 9 of those that come through that lead up, and I wasn't really looking towards that as a main lead up, but Molly Bloom was fantastic. Won 12-18 final 200 metres. Only one that I'd want to take from that 10th fastest final 200 metres of the day off that run. So firmer track potentially helps. I couldn't back anything out of that lead up outside of Molly Bloom. So I think it's a race in 3, Scarlet Oak, 2 to Levita and Molly Bloom. And I got Molly Bloom on top. I know you might make a case for a couple others in the way of good banter, which I can see it's probably 4th pick.
Yeah, so sorry, I've just added one to the rundown list, and I only added it late because it's probably zero chance of getting a run. It's going to need 3 to 4 more scratchings. Moonlight Magic down the bottom there, she's closer to 41 if you shop right. I think she's been missed a little bit. She's a last start winner in New Zealand, in good fashion. And you go back a few runs earlier in her prep, and she ran really well behind Positivity, who was a really good winner. Was it last week in Adelaide or the week before? She won really well. Forsman knows what he's doing. You get D Lane in the saddle, but yeah, look, if she gets in, I think she's certainly worth something each way, because she'll run the trip. She'll like the conditions. She'll probably be back from the draw and wide, which is hopefully the place to be this time of the day. But yeah, you're banking on a few more scratchings, that's for sure.
Interesting, Damien Lane's on Banter and obviously that.
Yeah, it'd be hard to know.
What happens if
well, it'll be which one. It would be which one he was committed to first.
Yeah.
Which I've got this. I don't know
You'd
at all.
think it'd be the emergency because
he knows he's got that connection with Forsman.
But he's also booked on the emergency. If it hadn't booked first, you would have thought that it wouldn't have a rider yet.
Yeah, true. Well, you can still put a rider in if you want to.
Yeah, then you have to change.
Yeah. Well, no, but I would say if he was committed to the emergency and he gets in, he will have to ride the emergency if that's what he's committed to first. Yeah. And I'd say he's probably
what happens with Good Banter.
Best of the rest. But in saying that, for the emergency to get a run, there would have to be 3 or 4 scratchings out of the field, which would free up 3 or 4 jockeys.
I'm with Good Banter. This is an interesting discussion too around jockey bookings.
Can he ride both?
He's pretty good. I thought Good Banter's. I thought this is ferocious overs alert. I've flagged this as in my notes. Ferocious overs alert. She's the winner. That was a red hot Adrian Knox. You know, nudging out subsequent Group 1 winner Autumn Angel. I know there was a fair weight differential between the two on the day. Has been kept fresh, trial in between runs. Hasn't really done anything wrong except perhaps be forgotten about with the gap between the runs. So
it's hard to knock. Hard to have any knocks.
That win was fantastic.
Yeah, it was huge. So I think I was with her that day as well. So Good
You just
Banter.
don't like Autumn Angel.
True, I'm later enough. So I'm with Good Banter, but I'm also with Private Legacy as well at a price. I'm going to back 2. Runner up in the Group 1 Australasian Oaks, closing off in the 4th fastest last 200 metres of the meeting, if you like, for a race over 2,000 metres on a day that the Group 1 Sangster was run. So got home really well, drawn out, which offsets her pattern anyway. She's going to be back. So if they're running on, we're seeing the track playing that way, she can certainly run a big race. I expect to come with a huge run. So Good Banter and Private Legacy will be 2 that I'm speccing. And it
comes out of that Adrian Knox. Good Banter as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, she does. Yeah. And I'm going to be laying Scarlet Oak. I think there's far more depth in this race than the 350 on offer about Scarlet Oak suggests. She's been getting home very well. You made points around her splits, but they've been pedestrian run races over 1,400, 1,600 metres. The latest at Newcastle, visually impressive over the mile. They went 15 lengths outside the benchmark to the 600 metres.
And all the runs opened up.
Entitled to get home really strongly, which she did. There's some fit 3-year-olds in this race that have been out over further, dropping back in trips, staying at the trip. Molly Bloom's another that's got a grounding at 1,800 metres that I would have ahead of her. So there's a few there that I've listed at 350. That's the price that I'm prepared to lay Scarlet Oak at. So
it's a good debate around Scarlet Oak because she has so much upside. Like
she's priced off upside.
Yeah, you might only get one chance to back her at this price.
Yeah,
if she wins this by 4, like. Yeah,
she's going through
the risk. It is the risk you take with ones on the up, isn't it? You're on the up versus the ones, the 3-year-olds that are a little bit more seasoned and got that grounding.
The data teams tend to go for the proven.
As soon as markets open too, there was a bit of money.
I'm on the side that I think she's very good, very good.
Yeah.
But I can see why you're laying it.
I think she's very good. I think she might just get beaten.
What a nice third to your 2.
How's that for splinters? Let's go to the feature of the day, race 9, the Group 1 Doomben Cup, weight for age 2,000 metres. Huetor is going for 3 in a row here, Tommy.
Yeah, I found this a very tricky race. Who have I got leading is Serpentine. Tim Clark probably darts across and leads. It's a tricky race because they come off a heavy 10 at Sunshine Coast, a lot of these, and you're back to probably a soft 5 on Doomben. Completely almost a different sport.
Huya Mao will cross from out wide.
Yeah, Huya Mao's got a bit of speed as well. I'm not overly keen to play in this race. I wouldn't be surprised if any of them wins. I'll be going wide in quaddies, but that's probably the nature of the day.
I'm against Kovalika, but before I get into Kovalika, and this is probably why I'm against him, but I can't believe this is a Group 1 field. Having a look at
amazing,
some of
isn't
these horses.
Yeah.
This has got a
It's $1 million
long
race,
tail.
mate.
Yeah, it's got a long tail to it.
We
There's-
do say that a lot in these Group
Yeah,
1
that's
staying
true.
affairs.
It is true.
These
to
are
be
just the
honest.
same races.
Kovalica hasn't won in 12 months, and it's
Winner in
$3.60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever Numerian run around in these races.
If I get
every
Diamond
year,
back
Yeah.
into form, I'll be running him in one of these.
100%.
Numerian was outstanding first up in the Hollandale.
Yeah, it was
that
enormous
was some
win.
run.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's no. Is there any reason why he can't win again?
No.
There's no
Yeah.
real negatives to him.
Was there any reason why it was $31 on reflection?
No.
First up, he was.
It was just a big.
It
Easy to
was
say
a
after the
different
event.
Numerian too, because
It's actually-
Jamie Mott actually took a sit and they went
Yeah.
back and they got to the
It was
best part of the
incredible.
track at the Sunshine Coast and was able to finish off really strongly.
Was
so
it
it was
also his first win on heavy ground? I think. I think he was.
He's placed.
Placed, yeah, but he hadn't-
placed 5 of 7. He had a win.
Yeah.
I don't know where that
right.
win came from. Might
Yeah.
have been-
2 wins, 4 placings.
There you go. Really?
Hmm.
I must have the wrong stats.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm against.
He's actually better on wet ground than
he's
ground.
actually a mudlark.
Well, I'm just having a look on the form. I thought it says 6 runs, 1 win. I gathered it was his last start.
Side by Rain Affair.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, strongly against Kovalica. I think he's had plenty of chances. I'd admit he finds a very winnable Group 1, but he just keeps following them around, in my opinion. I couldn't believe when I looked at the field and saw he was $3.60. I thought, God help me.
I love these runners.
So pretty keen to go against him. And I don't think I'll be betting to back something in the race because they might not all finish.
I'm going real wide here.
Hope they all finish.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes.
I'm going real wide here because it's this sort of race, and the discussion, listening to you, the discussion that we're having here is giving me even more confidence that I'm going to a $41 shot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have something each way on Naval College, who I think's the big improver here. Forget the first up run in the Hollandale.
I was going to say I'd want to be improved.
Well, he doesn't go a yard in the wet. So heavy 10 Hollandale is a good tracker. I think his second up form is very good. Barrier 13, roll across, find a back to follow somewhere up on speed. I think give it huge sight Naval College at around $41, and that's how I'm going to be playing the Group 1.
He's not proven to be good enough. Like, he's got a listed win, but he is on the up. I think you found one here. His second up record's great. His distance record's fantastic. So I think you found a good.
There's a
price
lot
there.
of runners at their ceiling.
Yeah.
And
Down. They're coming down from the ceiling.
yeah, or holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, hanging by the roof. But yeah, it's
No, you found one.
well,
Don't mind it.
well.
I'll be including.
Saturday at 3:57. You can text me on the WhatsApp and tell me if I found one.
You're a genius.
This guy's a genius. I haven't got
When
too
it
many of those.
tails off.
I must admit, I haven't got too many of those texts
Gee,
in
short
my
memory,
lifetime.
Short memory. Haven't heard much about Lionel this week.
I must have been something in the bets. It was a good guess, though. Let's go to race 10. It's the Group 3 BRC Sprint. 1,350 metres. This one's run over. Surf Dance won the race last year. Soxagon in 2022. And Emerald Kingdom in 2021. How are you attacking this one, boys?
I've spent about 3 hours on this race. Do you
I've
want to go first?
spent about 30 minutes. Yeah, I'll go first. I am going to be with the favourite Valana. Rolls forward from the barrier. I'm hoping the whole field comes away from the fence by this time of the day, but he can be in the first few. I think he's just bomb-proof in this type of race. He loves all types of ground. He gets Nashua Wheeler. He's won at the trip 4 times. I just think he's a nice, safe bet. Don't get me wrong, I could easily be bloused by something. It's a pretty open race, but Nashua Wheeler in the Royal Blue, I'm happy to be with him pretty strongly.
Good speed again, isn't there? All drawn wide when you got the likes of
Huge speed.
Cepheus, Fearson,
Jigsaw.
Namazu.
I think Cepheus might end up last. That's how quick I think. Like, from that barrier,
Yeah,
I
just can't keep up.
I don't think they can go forward. So you got Zarastro from 19, Namazu, Fearson, Prince of Boom, Yellow Brick, Jigsaw all have a fair bit of speed. Yellow Brick's pretty flexible.
Just a quick one on the speed map. So we're last race of the day. If the fence is not the place to be, is that all of a sudden take away a bit of speed because no one's wanting to rush and find the fence?
Good point.
You know what does take the speed away? This is a long run It's a shoot from the back.
Yep.
It's probably the longest run into a turn.
So no one has to panic too quickly either.
So that'll help. And
if you're wanting to be 6, 7, 8 lanes away, well, then you're not going to come firing across and want to be in the first 2 and find yourself 3 or 4 down on the fence.
Correct. So I think that the shoot start, long run in, but I don't think they'll go slowly. But fair point. It's another very tricky race. I agree with Valana. What he is a very good fresh horse, and I think that's pretty common with the Godolphin James Cummings horses. They go well fresh, and I think he's an absolute freshie. His peak rating last campaign came second up. He was first up on a heavy track behind Mizzou. I thought that run was fantastic. If there is any rain on the day, he gets promoted. If the track's chopping up, he's a wetty. So I'll be promoting him, keeping an eye on the weather. I've got Yellow Brick is a major player. He's probably the horse with the most ability in this race. He just needs another win now. He's been a little bit hard to catch. I think he can slot in from that barrier if they go hard as well. He has a powerful finish, brilliant record, hard to fault. I think there too, hoping Freedom Rally doesn't make the field because that just makes the race even harder.
Doesn't one look awkward from race 10? Barrier 1 would be the last place you'd want to draw, you'd imagine.
Correct. I could make a case for Hit a Shock. I could make a case for Straight Acer. The Inferno ties in as well through Hit a Shock. I think the race actually sets up okay for the Inferno. It's just a hard horse to back. So Valana and Yellow Brick, the two that I'm concentrating on in the last.
Oh, is your old mate up there, is he? You're not tipping him. What's wrong with you?
It's a hard horse to tip.
He's scratched.
There you go.
What's the inevitable? The Inferno?
Is he scratched? Is he?
Yeah, he's scratched, mate.
Yeah, he's too. That's news to me.
What?
Got inside mail for the stable, and Nick's had to.
That's why I didn't tip him, mate.
Didn't cross the racing manager's desk.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Something must have happened to him overnight because I literally spoke to Cliff last night. Yeah, the Inevitable goes back to last. The Inferno?
It's a long way to go.
Inferno, the Inevitable, and Cepheus, I think, trialled up at Dagon, and the Inferno went much better than the other two. So
it's a long way to go to put the concussion plates on for the first time.
Exactly.
I'm going to be backing Yellow Brick. Class galloper in this race. Spring campaign didn't work out for the Sears team, but I loved the first up run. Wide throughout, will be topped up for this. Last Queensland Carnival, so this time last year, kicked off, went second up over 1,400 metres in the Fred Best and ran second just behind Hawaii 5-0. Loves it second up. They're kicking. Certainly feature.
Too. Hawaii 5-0 just had control of that race and he had too much to do.
I'm hoping we'll get a better price on the day. Perhaps. I'm not sure. Like these locally trained runners can sometimes the money can come for them, but just given the openness of this race, if there's any, if the track is deteriorating, I reckon the money will come for Valana as well. So interesting. Yellow Brick in the last
he's
for me.
Unplaced on heavy ground too, Yellow Brick, so it probably enhances his chances just as much as well as Valana. And he's going to be drawn out wider, so might be Cornell a bit, boys.
Okay. Boys, let's get to, well, before we get to our lay streak, let's get to Take On Me. We've got Johnny Walter joining us this week, a little bit of a turn it sideways guest appearance on Layback with Betfair, and this is what John Walter's putting up this week.
G'day guys, my debut on Take On Me. Heading to Randwick on Saturday, I did have a couple of options. It was Waller and J-Mac in Brisbane or Beyond Baker and Rachel King in Sydney, and I've gone the way of Sydney. Passaggiata in race 7. I want to bring up this speed map because I haven't seen many like it in my time. Just so many leaders engaged. Really pivotal that the emergencies get a start probably to really want to put some pressure on Passaggiata, but the earmuffs come off. And I'm assuming they'll try and kick forward. The 8-metre rail may be the thing that does help this mare late in the race, but I've still not seen too many races with this much speed. Penthouse, Crips Tonight, Mo's Crown loves to go forward. Fire Lane does. Mogo Magic, super fast horse. Marshall Music, super fast horse. Code led all the way last start. No Statement's been going like a scalded cat. I think the Black Cloud will take a sit on Saturday, but it's been going forward in its first campaign. Extra Gear's an absolute speed machine, and obviously Passaggiata drawn the inside. So I can't see any other option than a fast tempo here, and really relying on the horses like Testator Salons, the Black Cloud, if it takes a sit, to be finishing over the top here. Even Wild Botanica, I think, can run a race. So I'm happy to take it on. I think about $4.20, $4.380. What have we got? Is the best around $4.20 at the moment. So I'll throw something up around the $5.50 mark on the exchange and come and take me on. Cheers, guys.
Thanks for that, John. Passagiata, he's laying in Sydney, Tommy.
Yeah, good case too. He even got a speed map up at his
I
take
did
on
like
me.
that.
It was very good. He's doing a really good job. He's got a live stream, so he pushes on Racing Watch. His live stream, so worth checking that out on Saturdays, and you can watch highlights and replays. So he does a really good job, and it was I think it was a good lay, Passagiata.
Let's head now to our lay streak, boys. And Reece, you got $407.46 because you laid I Wish I Win last week, I believe.
Yeah, I had a big set of kahunas on
Never
me.
in doubt.
On. No, that's what I thought. I knew on the line. Said, yeah, no, he's been
True
beaten.
Barrier won, didn't he?
Yep.
I think he
How did he
said
fight?
peaked first up was going better than you thought. He actually nailed it. For whatever reason, I was thinking of Reece away
bloke's an
from
idiot.
working on this show, and I was like, Reece actually knows what he's talking
got
about.
something right one time.
Yeah.
Bloke's a
No,
genius.
it was a very, very good assessment of the race in hindsight, mate.
Yeah, I was nervous, don't worry, because I've obviously backed Bella Nipotina. I didn't expect to be
Yeah,
following. I didn't.
That's a huge. That this far changes
Oh, exactly.
0 to hero.
Looked like,
there.
he looked like a dead set deal. But yeah, when she was slow away, I thought, oh, well, she can't win, but I can still hope he gets beat. And then I love the rider Willow because, again, takes some big kahunas to stop following the $2 favourite and angle out to try and find, obviously, what looked to be better ground. So, yeah, take me hat off to Willow. He made the right call. He got the bob. And I like what Moods has said afterwards is he's not protecting the horse at all. You know, the blinkers are going to go on next time. I think he thought the horse was there to win. I don't think he thought there were any excuses.
He's never been there to win that far from home before, I Wish I Win.
Only time this is a brilliant replay to watch, is the Golden Eagle over 1500. He looks like he hit the front quite early. He dead set looks like he's going to get swamped by, the horse's name escapes me, and it comes to him and he really kicks. Yep. He really kicked hard because I feel like I backed the second horse. I can't even think of its name, but I feel like I backed the second horse. But he really dug deep again and found the line. Whereas I think on the weekend, don't get me right, he had a dig when Bella come up beside him, but I think the blinkers are going to make a big difference.
I thought he'd lose by lengths at one stage.
Yeah.
And I was surprised to see him in the finish and that close to the finish
I think,
line.
unfortunately, as I said last week, it's just everything throughout his career, which has been brilliant, has just caught up with him a little bit, and he's just not like
Is he becoming very costly?
Yeah, he is.
He's had
For the
a lot
punters,
of
yeah, not
close
for the
seconds.
owners, he's not.
Oh, 100%.
I think Moods was saying the other day, since he's won $4 million
Yeah, incredible. But
in running
he's-
placings. So
It's outrageous.
I think he's,
Yeah.
he's run 5 seconds in his last 6 starts
Yeah.
or something.
yeah, so no doubt costly for the punters, but doing a job as well.
Who's your lay this week?
Doomben race 3, number 1, Salui. Too much pressure in this race. He's a horse that I think he wears a Norton bit. He can really overdo it if he doesn't get his own terms. We saw that at Morfettville first up. He was slow away. They drove him up. Couldn't find he eventually found the top under a lot of pressure and he got beat. So yeah, really keen to lay Salui race 3.
Tommy, you've got $143.48 in liability after, who did you lay last week? I can't even recall.
2-year-old.
The 2-year-old.
Oh yeah, that narrows it down.
Who are you
Beautiful.
laying?
The one we were talking about earlier.
Angel Capital.
Angel Capital.
Who are you laying this week?
Weekend
mate?
hustler.
Embassy. Race 5, number 5, had favours last start, no excuses. Lobbed in a perfect position in a race that did not change complexion at all. The leader won, he sat second, ended up second. He was $6 there. I think it was a $120,000 race. He was $6 there. Now comes into a $1 million race at a shorter price for not winning. Silly price.
I've got $234 in liability, and I'm going to lay Tom's best bet. I'm going to lay Scarlet Oak.
Not my best.
Not anymore. It's
I
not.
was just throwing the line out to see what we catch. I think this is different gravy here in this race is far deeper, and she's going to get a totally different setup to what she got at Newcastle. So she's going to need to be the star the market suggests she is. Best bets wise, Tommy?
Scarlet Oak. No.
Very
Not bad.
I found it very, very hard. And the 2 favourites that I really like, and the 2 also really like, are probably short enough in race 4, number 4, Clean Energy, and race 5, number 9, Anisa. I wanted a little bit better prices, but I think Clean Energy is going to be the hardest horse to beat on the program. So she'll do.
So I'm going race 6, Doomben, shooting for gold. He's a best each way.
Nice.
I think he's a really good each way bet. He's got phenomenal record this track and trip and first up, and the team know how to get him going.
Have you just backed Steve O'Day,
Think so.
Horsted runners all day?
Is it a bad way to go?
Have
It's
you?
not-
You've backed a
no,
couple
it's
too. They're
Not
in for a big
too
day.
bad. My best on with you, Tommy. Race 4, number 4, Clean Energy. Catch me if you can type stuff. So love the setup. Bomb-proof type operator. So I'll be with Clean Energy in the Bill Carter Stakes. Boys, been a lot of fun today. We only need to find, I reckon, 1 or 2 winners amongst us here with a lot of value.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on the
hopefully I'm not
card.
just the only one finding winners like last week.
Oh,
Come on, boys, lift.
One winner. in
Give me
8
something, will
weeks.
you?
fills out the run sheet once. Thinks he's Gator.
Got on 30
Goodwin's
seconds before
game
the
plan.
show.
Tune in.
30. Do you want to say what you said 30 seconds before the show?
What did I say?
Are we just looking at Doomben today?
Yeah.
Well, it's just because I had winners, all throughout Australia.
Oh,
That's
if
why.
you share them.
I should have
Any
put them.
runners?
I should have. No, very quiet week actually. I've got a lot of horses trialling Tuesday that are not far off racing. We've had a little bit of a clean out. Probably still a couple of others that need to be cleaned out. But yeah, no runners for this weekend. So
Any in the black book that punters should pop in that they're excited about before they head to the trials?
there's a tried horse that has been a lot of hard work, but I feel like I'm getting somewhere with him. He's actually a stayer, so maybe not first up or second up. A horse called Mercy and Him. He's an import,
Oh, yeah.
showing some really good ability when he first come here. His rating's at a really nice spot now at 61, so I can probably even run him in a 58 with some weight, but probably look for him third up around the 1800, 2000. I think he's a horse that's going well.
Beautiful.
How's my filly going, mate?
Flying, yeah,
Good.
probably 3 weeks. 2 weeks next Tuesday for jump out.
Good.
Don't tell everyone that it's going good.
No, everyone black book there anyway.
As long as it's not scratched like the Inferno. Been a lot of fun. We'll be back next week on Layback with Betfair.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.